In this video, we'll be explaining how to do lesson 11.3, Finding Maturity Value. So up to this point in this chapter, 11.1, we looked at finding simple interest in months and in years. And 11.2, we figured out how to find exact interest, which is 365, and ordinary interest, which is 360. We also use a spreadsheet to calculate the amount of days between two dates, and also how to add a certain amount of days to a date. So in lesson 11.3, what we're learning about is called the maturity value. This is taking the principal, which is the amount that has been loaned, plus the interest that is accumulated over the entire time of the loan, and adding them together to get the maturity value. So if you needed, let's say, a $5,000 loan for a car, and you needed 10% of that, we would end up finding that you would add the $5,000 plus the 10%, which would be $500, and as a result of that, your maturity value would be $5,500. So that's what we'll be doing in this lesson, is to find information like that. So let's get into example 1 in your books. There should be a handout in the back. If there's not, it's not a major deal. You should be able to still navigate through your book and watch the video to explain how to do this. So in example 1, we have an individual trying to remodel a bookstore, and they're looking to upgrade it, but they need to know what it's going to be the maturity value on this bookstore. So for example 1, the amount they would need to get a loan is $7,200. We know the rate is going to be 9.25%. We know the time is 21 months. So as we did in the previous lesson, we would take the 21 divided by 12. 21 months divided by 12. Enter. Now we have our time. So what we did in lesson 11.1 to find the interest, we would just multiply principal times rate times time and hit enter. Reminder again, the formulas are all up here in the formula line. So if you're unsure on what to click or what to do, please refer back to that. So that would be the amount of interest that would accumulate. So now the maturity value, the amount of the total loan, including the interest, we would add the principal plus interest. So $8,365 would be the maturity value. So that's one formula to do. If we want to use a different formula, let's say we want to get straight to the maturity value. We don't want to waste our time in looking for the interest. There is a way to do that, and this is how you do it. The formula is quite simple. It's principal times parentheses 1 plus rate times time parentheses. So let's try that. Equals principal times parentheses 1 plus rate times time parentheses enter. And we would get the same answer from here to here. So all this does, it gives us a formula to jump straight to the maturity value. Now, if you wanted to find the interest, all you would need to do is take the maturity value minus the principal, and it would be the same amount. It's pretty easy to do. Let's keep moving on. Example 2. In example 2, they want us to use this formula, and here are the numbers that are provided for us. They give us $6,000. They give us a rate of 9%. They give us a time of 120 days. Now, a note to keep in mind when doing this is that whenever they use days, we are going to automatically use the ordinary method. And the ordinary method is using the 360 days. So what that looks like is you'll go 120 divided by 360, and now we have our time. Now we're ready to calculate our maturity value. So we're going to go equals principal times parentheses 1 plus rate times time, enter, and there we go. To find the interest, maturity value minus, maturity value minus principal, 180. So example 2, that's all we're doing there. We are just jumping straight to the maturity value one. Example 3. Example 3, what we have here, you would find on page 420. In the example, find the principal that would produce a maturity value of $15,300 in 4 months at 6% interest. So we need to know, okay, how much principal would we need in order to have that $15,300 in 4 months at 6%? So let's put in what we know. We know that maturity value of $15,300. We know, give me 1 second here for my notes. We have a time, or we have a rate of 6%. We have a time of 4 months. So to calculate the time, we go equals 4 divided by out of 12 months, 4 out of 12 months. And now we have enough. We have the principal, we have the time, the rate, and the maturity value. So we have enough information here to calculate this. So to calculate this formula, and each of the formulas are right here to let you know what to click. We're going to go equals. We're going to click on the maturity value divided by parentheses 1 plus rate times time, enter. So in order to reach this $15,300 in 4 months at 6%, we would need $15,000 to do so. If they ask us to find the interest, we could simply take the maturity value minus principal. There's our interest. All right, moving on. Example number 4. Example 4, they give us the principal, maturity value, and time. They want us to find the rate for this one. So the question says, Lynn invested a principal of $7,200, received a maturity value of $7,540 in 200 days. Find the interest rate. So let's enter in what we know. $7,200. We have a time of 200 days. Now again, remember time. If there is no exact direction on instruction on using ordinary or exact, we will always use ordinary. So they give us 200 days divided by 360. We know maturity value. Maturity value is 7,540. So now we need to find the rate. So we're going to go equals M minus P divided by P times T, enter. And we would get an 8.5% rate. So in order to get $7,540, we would need 200 days, and we would need a principal of $7,200. So again, follow the formula. Last one, finding time if given maturity value, principal, and rate. So let's look at the example here. They give us a principal of $18,250. This is example 5 in your book, which is located on page 422. They give us a rate of 10 1/8. 10 1/8. So it would be 10.125. And they give us a maturity value, $19,687.19. So we have maturity value, principal, and rate. Now we need to find the time. Equals, parentheses, maturity value minus principal principal times rate times 360. And again, the reason we're doing 360 is because we're finding time, and it's in days. So that's why we're doing 360. If it was not in days, we would not use 360. Enter 280 days. So in order to reach $19,687.19, we would need a 10 1/4 or 10 1/8 interest rate, and we would need $18,250. Please use this spreadsheet as a guide for you for lesson 11.3, and make sure this video is watched. And if there's any questions, please let me know.